All right, so 11.2 lesson is now going to cover area of trapezoids, rhombi, and kites. So we're going to take a look at some formulas first here. Let's focus on our trapezoids first. Our formula is given as 1/2 of base 1 plus base 2 times the height. Again, with that whole half thing, we kind of want to change that up so that if we have to work backwards, which we will, we don't have to deal with a half. So we'll use the parentheses base 1 plus base 2 times height divided by 2. And we'll just go ahead and use this guy instead. Okay? The great thing about these notes is it should go pretty quickly because there are no little side things we have to do like we did with 11.1. We don't have to do a bunch of Pythagorean theorem on this one. Okay? So let's take a look at number 1. It just says find the area of each trapezoid. So let's just go through if we have to round. I don't think we have to round on any of these, so we'll be good. Taking a look, bases, as we should know already, we've got bases are going to be those parallel sides of our trapezoid. It doesn't matter which one's base 1 and base 2 because we're adding them. So here's your here are your bases, and then your height is always going to be that perpendicular. So here's our height. So if we have our area is equal to base 1 plus base 2 times height divided by 2, let's substitute in here. So I have my area is equal to, all right, well, base 1, I've got 32 plus base 2 of 18, all times my height of 16. Now, if you want to go through and you want to, over 2, and you want to simplify, go for it. If you just want to plug all that in the calculator exactly as you see it, go for it. But here, I'm going to go ahead and simplify here. I'm going to divide that 16 by 2 to give me 8. So now I've got my area is going to be equal to 32 plus 18 will give me 50. And I'm going to multiply that by that new 8. The 2 is gone. So your area is going to come out to 400 square feet. Nice and simple, right? That's what's going to happen here. All right. So our next one, what I need you guys to see is where our bases are. They are going to be the 2 parallel sides. So here we have our trapezoid. It's just switched over to this. It's just rotated. Okay. So here's our base 1, base 2. Here's that perpendicular height. And so we'll go ahead and go straight to the formula. Your area is going to equal base 1, 12, plus base 2, 24, all times our height of 28. Over 2. Again, I'm going to simplify to get rid of that 2. You do it the way you want to. Okay? And 28 divided by 2 is going to give me 14 now. So when I add 24 plus 12, I'm going to get 36. And I'm going to multiply that by that new 14. And your area is going to be 504 yards squared. I encourage you to go and do number 3 on your own. Seriously, it's the exact same thing we just did. Nothing changes. So please pause it and do this on your own, and then check it out and see if we got it right. Okay? Thank you for those of you who did that. Okay? We're going to go ahead and look at our area. Here are our bases, and here's our height. So we plug in base 1, 32. Plus base 2 of 50, all times that height of 20, divided by 2. I'm going to go ahead and simplify this. Divide 20 by 2 and get 10. When I add 32 and 50, I'm going to get 82 times that new 10 that I have. Your area will equal anything times 10, just slap a 0 onto it, 820 meters squared. Number 4 will go a little different because we do have to work backwards. I encourage you to try. Just plug in what we have and work backwards. So on this guy here, we've got trapezoid, we've got our base. So we've got base 1 and base 2. We're looking for our height. But here we're told that our area is 164. So we're going to plug in. So I'm going to go ahead and rewrite the formula just because we're doing something different here. Base 1 plus base 2. Times height, all divided by 2. I have my area, okay, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to plug in 164 for my area, And over here, I have base 1 and base 2, 12.8 plus 20, all times, we don't know the h yet, okay? All divided by 2. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and do my parentheses, okay? I'm going to go ahead and add these two together. So I'm going to have 164 is equal to, when you add those, you're going to get 32.8h divided by 2. You can go ahead and do this a couple different ways. You can go ahead and divide this out at 32.8 by 2, and then work backwards from there and divide. Or we could just set it up as proportion like we've seen here. Okay? So cross multiplying here, let me go ahead and move up here. We're going to have just times 1, so we get 32.8h is equal to, we're going to have 164 times 2, and I didn't do this on my answer key, so I'm going to do this in my head. We're going to have 8, 12, carry the 1, should have 328. And I will have to get my calculator for the division part here, because we got this decimal. We're going to go ahead and divide both sides by that 32.8, and this gives you an opportunity to divide that by 32.8 as well. Actually, I don't know why I had to do that, because I already have the correct answer in front of me. So h is going to end up, plus we have that decimal here, we're just moving that decimal, 10. Okay, so there we go. Let's go ahead and take a look at the rhombus and kite side. They are both going to have the exact same formula, okay? The diagonals will just look a little different with both of them. Well, they can. So again, we've got this formula. We want to rewrite it, that your area is going to be equal to, now I need you to notice, we're not adding like we did with the bases. You're going to be doing diagonal 1 times diagonal 2 divided by 2. So we are multiplying, okay? And again, with this, everything's going to go straight forward, all right? So with our first one here, with our area being diagonal 1 times diagonal 2 divided by 2, let's substitute in. Our area will equal, well, these are the diagonals of a kite. So we just have 12 times 18 divided by 2. You can plug it all into the calculator at once. You can simplify if you want. Here, I'm going to simplify this to 6 times 18. Your area will come out to 108 centimeters squared. Moving down to our next problem, okay, we're going to have something a little bit different here, which I realize on my key I messed up on. So we're seeing here that this is 10, okay, only half that diagonal is 10. So we need to see that the whole diagonal is going to be 20. Same thing over here, only half the diagonal is 20, so the entire thing is going to be 40. So we have our area. We're going to take diagonal 1, 40, times diagonal 2, 20, and divide it by 2. I'm going to go ahead and knock this guy out here and say, okay, 20 divided by 2 is going to give me 10. So now all I have is 40 times 10. Your area will equal 400 centimeters squared. Easy one. All right, so take a look at the next one. We see the exact same thing we just had, except now we're seeing that all 4 of these pieces are exactly the same. So we end up with 13 for all 4, okay? So that means both of our diagonals are going to be a total of 26. So when we plug in, it's just going to end up being 26 squared, or you can just look at it as 26 times 26, all divided by 2. If I simplify this, I'll have 26 times 13, and 26 times 13 will give me 338 centimeters squared. See, real simple. I mean, we're only not even 10 minutes in. All right. Last one here. We do not have a lot of, not every piece is congruent. Okay, not both diagonals are bisected here. This one is, So we're going to wind up with 24 plus 24 will give me 48. My other diagonal right here is 18 plus 10, giving me 28. We're not working backwards on this guy. Pause it. Do it on your own. We're doing the exact same thing we did for numbers 5, 6, and 7. Thank you if you tried it on your own. So we're going to have our 28 diagonal times our 48 diagonal divided by 2. It doesn't matter which one I knock out here. We'll go ahead and cross this off and say, okay, now we got 28 times 24. 48 divided by 2 is 24. And then your 28 times your 24 will give you 672 feet squared. And wow, look how quick that lesson was.